Welcome back to the Random City Podcast. I'm Jimmy in Georgia. Today, some weird news broke. Apparently, Sony and their geniuses decided not to come to a new agreement with Marvel/Disney. And apparently, from the reports I'm seeing, Spider-Man no longer a part of the MCU. What are they thinking? Spider-Man Far From Home is my favorite movie so far this year. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I liked it more than Endgame, quite honestly, because I have issues with Infinity War. As far as a fun cinematic experience, it would be near the top of my list. Literally just spoke a little bit about Spider-Man Homecoming a few days ago in the last episode of the Random City Podcast, available in iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, etc. I don't understand. I'd heard rumors. Now, this isn't new news, technically. I mean, the details are new, but I'd heard rumors that Spider-Man Far From Home was the end of the contract and they needed a new deal. I get part of the idea, I'm sure, is all about the money. It's like, oh, why should we give Marvel any cut of this? We can do this on our own. We can make all this money. But here's the thing, especially with Marvel movies. There's a reason Dark Phoenix died the way it did on the box office. It was horribly underperforming compared to every other X-Men movie, basically. It's not connected to the cinematic universe. Nobody cares. You know, the next X-Men movie could be 4 or 5 years away, whatever. People will care again once it's connected to the MCU. A Spider-Man reboot again? Nobody's going to really care, I don't think, at this point. People are invested for 11 years into the MCU. There's a reason Endgame is the highest grossing movie of all time. This is a stupid move on so many levels. Hopefully this isn't the last word. As a Spider-Man fan, as a Tom Holland fan, as an MCU fan. Wow. Come on, Sony. Y'all suck. Here's a report from Deadline about the situation. Their headline reads, Disney-Sony standoff ends, Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige's involvement in Spider-Man. This was posted today, as I'm recording, about 25 minutes ago. This is an exclusive to Deadline. And again, we're just going to break down just a little bit of this. Exclusive. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige won't produce any further Spider-Man films because of an inability by Disney and Sony Pictures to reach new terms that have given the former a co-financing stake going forward. A dispute that has taken place over the past few months at the top of Disney and Sony has essentially nixed Feige and the future involvement of Marvel from the Spider-Man universe, sources said. Interestingly, as they report here, Spider-Man Far From Home has become the all-time highest grossing film for Sony Pictures. Now, their report is this. Okay, so MCU is gone, but not necessarily Spider-Man movies and Tom Holland. According to this, there are already 2 more films in the works that would include Tom Holland. So, I kind of feel like these would go the way of Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 2 without Marvel's involvement, but that's still sad on lots of different levels. Wow, according to this, I guess the current terms were Marvel was only getting 5% of the first dollar gross. So they were trying to bump that up to around 50%. So I could see why Sony wouldn't agree to 50% if they're only giving them 5%. But, wow. They're also reporting Sony reason they'll be fine without Feige. They have a creative template set by these first 2 films. So there's already other films in the works. The Venom sequel is underway. Andy Serkis is directing that with Tom Hardy. There's also a Morbius movie with Jared Leto, a Kraven the Hunter, and another spin-off with characters such as Silver Sable and Black Cat. Apparently the Sinister Six film is maybe coming back like they were talking about doing every few years ago. I don't know what the deal is. It's sad if this is the last word. Hopefully they can do something. Okay, from reading that report, getting a little more information from Deadline, it sounds less totally stupid since they're not scrapping the Tom Holland movies. I think fans will be much more accepting of it if it's a continuation of the Tom Holland Zendaya-led movies versus a totally, just scrapping that and starting over. So I do think that's a better idea for Sony to pursue. Wow. Either way, just with this most recent movie, they were looking at Peter as the next Tony Stark. I mean, that was kind of the point of the movie. He's going to be the next guy. And now he's not. It's weird. My only hope still, I was hoping for this, even within the MCU confines, was more of a multiverse situation where maybe you do have a Tobey Maguire show back up and things. So maybe that's the direction they'll go. And maybe it'll be good. The animated movie was great with Lord Miller. I don't know. Maybe they should get those guys involved if they could. This is going to be a wait and see kind of situation overall, but definitely interesting. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. What would you want to see in a Sony only Spider-Man movie series with or without Tom Holland? Wow, this is crazy. All right, so thanks, and we'll catch you on the flippity flip.